Who Am I and How Does the Media See Me? By Stephanie Villegas. What are you? I have been asked this question my entire life whenever I meet someone new. What am I? As if I'm not human or I'm simply a thing that came out of nowhere. I keep to myself most of the time, so I let it slide and answer with what people want to hear. I'm Mexican. If we're talking realistically, I'm actually American with a Mexican background. I'm a 20-year-old female that lives in the suburbs, a small town called Pleasanton, surrounded by a predominantly Caucasian and Asian people. My parents were born in Mexico, and I have one little sister. I post a picture on Instagram almost every 3 days, and I'm always on Facebook looking at news and watching funny videos. Because of my age, my social media, where I live, and my family's background, the media has specific views on who I am. Since I'm a college student, my stereotype is that I drink and do drugs every weekend, and that I always go to parties, and that I skip class all the time. An example of this is 22 Jump Street, where the characters go undercover and automatically assume the roles of drinking and partying. However, I see myself as a hardworking student. I completed my GE at Ohlone Community College in 2 years, so I can transfer to San Jose State. I have a part-time job at Costco Market, so I don't have much time to go partying on a weekend. And despite the fact that I live an hour away, I take the train very early so I can get here 4 days out of the week. Since I'm always on social media, the media may see me as self-centered and only caring for the superficial and posting about my life rather than enjoying it. An example are celebrity Instagrams that post money and clothes, and mostly their bodies. However, I use social media to stay in touch with my family in Mexico. I post pictures and videos so I can show them what I'm up to. I also get my news from social media because news spreads faster on the internet than regular TV shows and newspapers. Instagram, for example, is also a way for artists to get recognized. Since I live in the suburbs, the media may see me as stuck-up, rich, white, and in a very dramatic high school. An example of this is Mean Girls. This movie is based in the suburbs, and the main characters are mostly white. Their high school experience is filled with drama and living lavishly. I see Pleasanton as a very pleasant town to grow up in. It's a safe environment, and kids and families just bike around town and go to parks. I'm in the working class, and my family can afford Pleasanton. Speaking honestly, who can really afford housing these days? My school was very unified, and in fact, we celebrated diversity in rallies. Growing up in Pleasanton, I was one of the few Hispanic kids. Most of my classmates were white. Despite my accent, Spanish is actually my first language. So going to preschool and not speaking any English was very hard for me. I didn't understand why I was different. I was darker than the rest of the kids, my hair was black, and I didn't speak any English. My favorite cartoon was the Powerpuff Girls, and my favorite character was Bubbles. If you don't remember her, she had the blonde hair and the blue eyes. The blonde hair and the blue eyes was the ideal look for me, which is why I wanted to be just like her. I also watched the anime show Sailor Moon. I also wanted to be the main character, who had the distinctive blonde hair and blue eyes. I just didn't want to be Mexican. I wanted to be like the rest of the kids and like my favorite characters. When I was in 3rd grade, we had a new exchange student from Mexico, and he didn't speak any English at all. So the teacher asked me, the few kids that could speak both English and Spanish proficiently, to help get situated in our school. It was an honor, and I was super excited to help someone that was in the same position I was before. This is when I started liking my culture and started embracing who I really was. Media was also catching up and started to be integrated. I would wait every Saturday to watch Dragon Tales. There was Emmy, Max, and the dragon teacher that had Hispanic backgrounds. They even spoke a little bit of Spanish. I saw myself in Emmy, which made me really proud because she was smart and brave, just like I was. Over time, the media got even more diverse and introduced Dora the Explorer. This was a Spanish and English show, which most of us call Spanglish, and she was very proud of her Hispanic culture. I'm really glad that my sister, who is 3 years younger, got a more diverse media. She didn't have to go through the same experiences that I did. Although there's still one thing that is missing, my Latina princess. Don't get me wrong, Disney has made great improvements in introducing an African American princess, an Irish princess, a Chinese princess, and a Native American princess. But I have yet to see one that really represents who I am. I remember dressing up as Cinderella, Snow White, and Belle. But I don't have blonde hair and blue eyes like Cinderella. Snow White and Belle have dark hair, but they're not as tan as I am. And Jasmine has dark skin and black hair, but she's Arabic and I'm Mexican. My favorite princess was a Little Mermaid because she was different. She had the red hair and she was half fish. But I didn't really connect with her either. One thing that needs to be improved is the introduction of a Hispanic princess. When I was in my teens, my cousins would tell me that I wasn't really Mexican, that I was in fact Chicana. Chicana, what did that mean? To me, it had a negative connotation because it meant I wasn't Mexican. So what did it mean to be Mexican? In the media, Mexicans are portrayed as cholos. So do I have to dress up and be in a gang to be Mexican? Do I have to talk with an accent and listen to Mexican music all the time? Or do I have to be seductive and dress up every day, just like Mexican actresses are portrayed in Mexican soap operas? Well, I didn't know what being a Chicana meant until I was in college and I took Chicana studies. There we watched a movie called Walkout, which were about students in East LA that fought to have equal rights as everybody else. Chicanos joined both American and Hispanic views and created one big culture. So, in a way, I guess I am Chicana, and I'm proud to be Chicana or Mexican American. Does the media really represent who I am? The answer is yes and no. To the media, I'm a college partygoer, self-centered, stuck-up rich girl with a Mexican background filled with stereotypical representations. To me, I'm a 20-year-old Mexican-American female out of a peaceful town with the goal to finish college. And on my journey, I have also grown to love and embrace my culture with the help of media. Now that you know who I am, who are you?